Hey guys, so you see the big circle? We just took photos over there and right there. So if you want to see them, you can go to Facebook and Instagram and other places that we post pretty things. I'm gonna just very slowly roll up on this dude on his cell phone and see if he notices. I'm coming for you. I hope you're ready, Yummy. I'm coming for you. It's gonna take me a minute to get around this big ass curb, but I'm coming. Oh, I'm coming, Yummy. Just you see that guy? I'm following him.
Chase, nice gloves, bro. Squid.
God, squid. So what's going on, everybody?
Yeah, what's going on, everybody?
Hold on, I want to make sure this car's not going to turn. I am Chaseontwowheels because I have a red motorcycle and red gear. That is YummiR6. He has a black motorcycle with blue accents and blue gear. And we're doing a dual vlog in Atlanta. Woo! Just kidding. I mean, we are doing a dual vlog, but not a what? No, that is not.
Okay, there's no one even in it, I didn't think.
It's not a parking spot. What are you doing?
Chase on two wheels. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about today why you have such a slow motorcycle. We're just kidding.
And slow, hot, ugly, stupid, loud. What are we going at here?
We're sitting there at the house and we're like, we should do a dual vlog. We haven't done a dual vlog in a while. Let's do that. Let's also get in the middle lane or stop.
Oh, dick, I'm not getting in the middle lane. Shit.
Chaseontwowheels tries to kill YummiR6.
I straight was like, right when you said the middle lane, I was like, oh, I went like this. And as soon as I cleared it, I started going and this guy came over. I was like, oh, shit, no, I don't want to die.
Oh, look at that shot of Yummy in the sun. It actually, green light. So yeah, we were sitting there talking and like me and Yummy have both had R6s for a while now. Yummy, how long have you been on an R6?
3 years, 2 years?
Yeah, so you're looking at like 3, I'm looking at like 4 or 5. And in that amount of time, most people would probably upgrade to a leader bike, right? Like an R1, a CBR 1000, whatever.
4 years is like a good, like, I'm ready, I guess you could say. I mean, it's...
Most people would have upgraded by now, and I know you get just as many comments as I do. It's like, why don't you get an R1? So we're sitting there talking about, we're like, why don't we just talk about why we're on R6s? Like, why don't you feel a need? I assume you don't feel a need to upgrade like I don't. Okay, so I think we talk about that for a while because we're both pretty hardcore R6 fans.
Granted, it's not like I'm saying I don't want to upgrade. It's like if someone gave me an R1, I'm not gonna be like, nah.
No, yeah, of course. You don't have anything against a leader bike.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like right now, as far as speed and fun goes, I have so much fun on an R6 and the speed and the throttle it has. It's like going into a 1000 is almost a waste of time and money for me. Like I have so much fun on this. Why would I go to something just because it has a bigger engine, you know?
Yeah, I think when I was doing Moto Mumble, the little live hangout with Motornosty and Walterific, we were talking about leader bikes and stuff like that, and because Motornosty had an R6 for a very short amount of time and it got stolen and stuff like that. The reason he got an R1 after his R6 was that he was doing a lot of highway commuting, and I was like, that's actually a good point, because like if I was gonna ride a 600 on the highway for a while, I would probably think about upgrading. If I was gonna commute like 30 minutes every single day to work, then that is like a legitimate reason. Because I mean, I know like if you go to the mountains or if you ride on the highway for a while, do you get tired of this like,
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see the complaint for 600s on the highway, simply because there's not as much rev room, I guess you can say, when you're at that speed. Because if we're going 70 down the highway, you better bet every person that has a 600 is going to be in 6th gear, and they're going to be meh in and out. So
yeah, exactly. But you could put a leader bike in like 6th gear, and it's just going to be like.
Like us at like 50, like it's not much. I could totally see that argument, but I think the 600s have a lot of argument too. Like we're not trying to say like a R1 is, or a leader bike is, or I mean a 600 is not good for the highway. I mean 600s are great for the highway, but it's like if you are doing it to the point where it's like you're going to be on there every single day and you're going to have to do it, you know, to go anywhere type of thing, then yeah, it's going to be more beneficial to get the 1000. But if you can't get an 1000, it's not going to kill you to have a 600, because I mean, look at some of the trips we've done. I mean, I've rode from fucking St. Louis, Missouri to Kansas on an R6, and it is loud, but I mean, it's definitely doable, I guess.
Yeah, it's doable, but I think that's one of the more understanding conversations I could, like, if somebody told me. Because, like, if somebody tells me they're getting a 1000 because they need more engine, like, I don't understand that.
Neither do I completely agree. Like, I do not need more engine, okay? I can get to a $120 on the highway and have fun with it. And a lot of people, when you say anything about that type of speed, and you're like, yeah, I can go 120, a lot of people like to kind of measure dicks and kind of be like, yeah, well, I've been 125. It's like, it's not really about how fast you go, you know? Does the engine feel good to you in how it accelerates? And in all honesty, like, I would be okay if I never got an 1000. Like, I have such a blast with the 600 and its engine size that I don't know, I never would be sad.
If I do ever like upgrade to a 1000, I'll tell you one fucking reason I will. Like, one, the highway thing's good and all, but I don't really go on the highway that much, so I couldn't justify that. One thing I can fucking justify, though, leader bikes have all the tech inside of them. Like, what does your R6 show you right now? It shows you how fast you're going, what time it is,
my miles, and how hot the bitch is.
yeah, and that's it. So, and there's no, like, I mean, this is R6 specific, but no traction control, like no ABS.
We're not saying there's no bike, no 600 doesn't have it, but we're strictly talking about R6 right now. So, like,
this isn't really a 600 versus a leader bike conversation. This is just the R6. You know, I do my first rides. I ride all types of bikes. I still like the R6 as one of the most. I don't know if it's because I'm just used to the engine and like how it delivers power at the top of the rev range or something, but this is sketchy right here.
Yeah, it was. I was like, wait, what?
Like, nothing felt good about what I just did at all. You've ridden other bikes, right? Like, you had, and I'm not talking about like a supermoto, I'm talking like another 600.
I had the Gixxer 600, and actually, coincidentally, it was the same exact year as this R6. It was a 2007 Gixxer 600. So it's, I don't like to like sit here and be like, well, I've been on the Gixxer the same year, so I can compare them. But I mean, riding that for about a year, I can sit here and tell you tenfold, I would prefer an R6 over that Gixxer. The Gixxer is just so beefy, and I don't know, it's just...
You're talking about the Gixxer felt beefy? Yeah. No, a lot of them, especially, you said 600, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I legitimately, it makes no sense, but I feel like the Gixxer 600 feels like the biggest Gixxer there is. The one thing I like a lot about the power delivery on the R6 is when you're down low in the rev range, like, this bike is legit a 250. The R6 is by far the worst bike I ever rode down low. But I have a reasoning for that, though, and I'm happy about that because we don't have, oh, what the fuck? We don't have different modes like A, B, or C, or just A and B mode that'll just bring down the engine power. But if you've had an R6 for a while and you know how to ride, then it's kind of like it has built-in modes, so where if you keep the revs down low, you have a lower acceleration area.
Oh, hello, thank you very much. Started to turn his tire, I was like, bitch, what?
If you know your engine well enough, you can ride it like that, and you can ride a lot of 600s like that, but the R6 is by far the most bike that has like a cherry at like freaking 11,000 RPMs.
Feel that shit. Like,
yeah.
It's like a.
Some people look at that as a bad thing, but
I like it.
Once you learn the bike, and when you've ridden the same type of bike this long, you really learn the bike a lot. And I don't know, it's just a thing that I personally keep coming back to.
You can say a lot about that too, because I mean, not trying to throw any jokes out there or not, but look at all the R6s that you've gotten stolen and you kept coming back. Like there's a reason you kept coming back. Like you could have easily, Chase could have easily taken that whatever 7-8K from that bike that got stolen from his insurance and easily gotten an R1 or anything like that. And so I mean, that alone kind of speaks for itself that Chase didn't go back to the R6 just because it's an R6. He went back for it because he loves that bike and he's so used to how that feels.
I do want to preface that we're talking about our personal experiences, and you guys watching, you're not going to necessarily share those experiences. Like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Just because I love this bike and I feel extremely comfortable on this bike, that doesn't mean that your body size and weight and stuff is going to fit on a different bike.
That's completely true, and that's all to do with like what you adapt to. And I think that goes back to like the chart we were just talking about. Like some people don't like that sudden feel of just amazingness. Some people like a gradual power increase. So it's like you don't know until you ride, but I can tell you if you get a bike like an R6 and you're gonna know if you don't like that. Like you are going to feel extremely uncomfortable when it hits that peak. Like you're just not gonna like it. So, and of course you won't know what the other ones feel like until you go ride them, but you'll at least know that like, okay, that aggressive fucking is just that scares me type of thing, you know.
I legitimately, and I tell people this because I mean, I'm sure you get emails too, like all the time, like I'm gonna start riding, I'm gonna get an R6. Legit, I think the absolute worst motorcycle to start on
the R6
is an R6.
Very, very inconsistent.
Even in the crazy world that I do not recommend, where you started on a leader bike, you are better off starting on a leader bike because you can put that shit in the lowest mode possible.
You know what I would compare the R6 to? Like all my dirt bike people out there, relax for a second, relax. Like I don't mean this like legitly, but you know what you could almost compare the R6 to? A two-strokes like engine. Because the two-stroke is very like meh. Oh my god, shit, fuck! Like, you don't want to say that?
I've never ridden a two-stroke.
Okay, well, two-strokes are very unpredictable. I've only ridden one, and I mean, I've rode it for a little bit, so like I said, my opinion isn't 100% valid, but for the time that I rode the two-stroke, it was very, very like, hello, like surprising type shit. So I feel like the R6 would be the two-stroke of the 600 simply because it's not a gradual increase. It has no gradual climb. It's just literally all of a sudden, boom.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'll have to ride a two-stroke one day, but like, so the R6 is predictable. Like, you know, at 7,000, it becomes an entirely separate motorcycle. But like, if you don't, like, this is the reason I tell people don't start on R6s, because here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna learn to ride the bike a little bit and like stay really low. And then you're gonna get into a problem one day where you need to throttle out, and you're gonna be at 6,000, and when you give it a lot of throttle at 6,000, you're gonna rock it off. And I don't think you'll expect that kind of thing.
Yeah, we're not necessarily saying like 100% you can't start an R6, don't do it. But like you're walking a line, you know, you're doing something that you could have probably done something else better. Like you're really risking it like to what you could have been doing to benefit yourself better. In the end, no one knows you like you know you, and we can give you guys advice all we want, and we can tell you our experience, but it's up to you to portray that into your actual life and how you think you'll be on a 600, on a 250, on a 1000, and you kind of just gotta take advice and apply it and not ignore it, I guess you could say.
That kind of goes back to what we were saying. Like, we just both happen to be really big fans of this bike. It doesn't mean that this bike is superior in any way to any other bike.
I was lazy as fuck. I pulled in the throttle and started keeping going.
I was over here like, blah, 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 blah. And Jimmy's just like,
fine, next red light, I'm just like, woo, woo, woo.
Oh, also another thing to point out that's very interesting, or that I want to I'm trying to take out any options that people are like, well, this is why you might have got that. I think we're both in a position where we can afford a 1,000cc motorcycle, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Financially, it's not an issue financially. It's literally this bike is what it is. That's why we like it.
And it's not even like, oh, I have an R6, so I just don't want to move on. It's like, I enjoy this fucking bike that much that I just don't want to move on. Like, I could never, there's not a big enough difference for me between riding an 1,000 and my R6 that I'm going to go out and be like, all right, let me go get an 1,000. It just, I enjoy this bike, and until it gets to the day where I go out and I'm like, damn, I mean, this is cool, I guess. Until it gets to that day, like, there's no way I'm gonna switch up.
I think my favorite part of this bike is the fact that the bike can be whatever I want it to be. If I want it to be like a 300, I just keep it low in the rev range. If I want it to be as fast as a liter bike, I just keep it at like 10,000 RPMs. And it's totally up to me with how the bike is. I don't have to change anything. I think that's probably like my favorite part of the R6. This bike is by far not perfect, like not even a little bit, but I love this thing. We can't have the need conversation, because the need conversation always ends with, well, nobody needs anything. You only need a bike. Yeah, you only need a bike that can go up to 70 miles an hour. So we're not saying need, we're talking opinions, honestly.
Technically, precisely to my opinion, you don't technically need a 250. A 125 is suffice.
So guys, hopefully that video kind of helps you understand why we have both decided to stick with an R6 for a while, for multiple years. We're gonna get on the highway up here so we can circle back to get to Atlanta. But hopefully you enjoyed this video and got a more insight into our heads of why we have these bikes. If you want to check out YummiR6, there'll be a link in the description. His thumbnail doesn't look like that, but he's there.
Very immature to the max. That's what I strive to be. Strive to be 12 years old on a motorcycle.
Yummy strives to be fabulous! But anyways, guys, Yummy, thank you for having a dual vlog with me. I much appreciate it. I would shake your hand, but it would get awkward. I didn't even get to look at it because I was looking at the car.
It's looking ridiculous.
Alright, we're gonna get on the fucking highway, and we're not gonna do stupid shit, right?
It's a fucking lie, because I'm having a rough time in my life, and I'm gonna throttle that. Oh wow, 6 gear full. That was 6 gear full throttle, by the way.
Exactly, that was 6 gear full throttle in the Ninja 3 or the R3 mode. Alright guys, and on that, we will catch you, or I will catch you on the next video. Yummy will catch you on his channel.
Thanks for having me, Chase. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, buddy, man. Okay, I'm gonna stop this GoPro and then start it again, so shenanigans.